So a couple of weeks ago, I found oothecas that were laid by my previous mantis that sadly passed away. And I decided that I wanted to make a new enclosure for the Mantis Nymphs. So in this video, that's exactly what I'll be doing. So make sure to stick around to see the new mantis enclosures. And I'll also be feeding them at the end of the video. I'm now going to get right into making the enclosures. I got these enclosures on Amazon, and I'll put a link to them in the description. I started by filling them with my terrarium substrate. I'll put my substrate mix on screen. I then spreaded the substrate out and sloped the substrate towards the back. Sloping it towards the back is a great way to give some depth to your terrarium. As you can see, the substrate is higher towards the back than the front, and this will look a lot better than if I made the substrate flat. I gave the enclosure a light spray down so that the substrate stays in place when I'm adding hardscape. You can really use any sticks or rocks you find outside for the hardscape. To make the hardscape more appropriately sized, I use my desk drawer to break it in half. I can now start adding them in. I'm using the sticks so that there's enough climbable space for the mantids. And a great way to stick hardscape pieces together is by using super glue. And once it's dry, it's not harmful to plants or animals. The next thing I'm going to do is add some moss for greenery. The moss isn't necessary, but I think it makes it look a lot better. I added some crushed up slate stone to make it look like a rocky hillside. After the slate stone, I added a little sprinkle of leaves. And the last thing I did was add a botanical for detail. And with that, the enclosure is complete. The reason why I didn't add springtails is because there's ventilation, so it's very unlikely that there'll be mold problems. I'm now going to get started onto making the second enclosure. And again, the first thing I do is add substrate. And then I added some sticks for hardscape. Now that I have a good layout of what the enclosure is going to look like, I can start adding moss. For me, this is my favorite part of making enclosures. And I thought it would look cool if I added a stone in the back. And the second enclosure was now complete. Now moving on to the next one. And finally, all the enclosures were done. These are all the other enclosures. If you've got any suggestions for names, make sure to leave a comment down below. And of course, the best part of keeping a mantis is watching them catch their prey. It's kinda crazy how fast they are. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any others.